I'm today not only the moderator, but I have a talk which takes place right now. And the talk title is Shopware Means Community. A little bit about my person. I am Niklas. Actually, the photo is from my application to Shopware. I'm born '82, and I'm at Shopware since 2015, so only 5 more years to go to have my 10-year anniversary, which is great. Looking forward to it. And I became the developer evangelist in 2017 after Benjamin Kramer took his hat and went elsewhere. And yeah, I'm doing a lot of coding, I'm doing a lot of talking, and that's my job, coding and talking. But it's not about me today, but it's about you as a community and me as a community, which will become clear in a moment. Now, let me start with a definition of what community is. I've taken this from Wikipedia, and I will read it right from my speaker screen here. A community is a social unit. That means a group of living things, and I think we can agree on that we are indeed a group of living things. And we have a commonality such as norms, religions, values, customs, or identity. Now, this is what Wikipedia says, and what I will tell you in this talk is how Shopware sees the community that it has, and where we are coming from, where we are heading to, and especially what will happen in the future, because the community is about to change, and I will talk about this. Now, we sure have not a religion in common, so this doesn't fit us. But we have values in common, and we have an identity, which is very blue, for an identity at least. Okay, but more important of what a community is by textbook definition is the question of who is the community. Now, the community consists of different people, and I will stress this different thing during this talk, because different people has some implications. For example, different people means different goals. We have, for example, agencies, we have shop owners, we have plugin developers, some startups coming in here. And with Shopware 6 and the possibilities that it opens up, we will get people who aren't traditionally e-commerce people, who use Shopware in a way that we traditionalists in e-commerce maybe don't even think of. And of course, we have third-party developers like ERP system developers who are using Shopware only to basically use it as a shop front end, basically. So there are a lot of people involved with Shopware, and they have all different goals. There are the business people, there are the coders, there are people who just flat out love Shopware from a personal level, how it works from the persons, and who are engaging with Shopware because of this. So a lot of different people, and yes, we are all people. Now, why is this important? We are all people means we are unified by having some dreams, by having some hopes, by having some needs, and we are all humans. And this is a great thing about Shopware. We are a company that is that you can talk to, that you can get involved with. There are companies out there that are more of an abstract thing that exists, and you use the product that comes out of it. And in case you're new to this community, we are a bit different in terms of reachability. So although we are, of course, a company, we are people. We are all people, so talk to us. Let me make an example of an employee that is usually, to you at least, something abstract, something that is not really there, but still is a real person. My colleague Carolyn, how do you say this in English actually? I have to ask her. Anyway, she is the head of dev marketing, and she is the voice behind Shopware Devs, among other things. But when you see a tweet on Shopware Devs, usually it's her who made the tweet, who created the tweet. And she's just one example. She works really hard for making you guys out there know about the latest stuff, to make you feel comfortable, to take care of things like, I don't know, trainings or something. She's involved with that as well. And she's a good example for how this here works, because the whole company is funded by Stefan and Sebastian Hamann. And they poured their heart and soul into this product, and it's their passion project that grew into a business. And it's not someone who had a business idea and is trying to make money off of it. Of course, we are all making money with Shopware. I mean, no, you know, we are all. But it's a passion project that grew into a business, and not the other way around. And the employees here, they have the same spirit. It's a passion. Now, we are many, you can say that. We are many in the community, and we are many employees at Shopware. I'm not sure about the exact number, but we are strong going for the 300 or even crossed it, I'm not sure. But it's a lot of people working here. Wrong card, sorry. Yeah, and we have these common goals. So we are working with Shopware, and we are supporting each other. Sometimes, depending on your questions, it might be a little bit difficult to get an answer right away if you have a question, but in general, we are there for each other, we are helping each other, and the ways in which we do this will change, and the people that you might help in the future or you might get help from in the future will change as well. Now, Shopware has come a long way. It has a long history, and you know, it's like, maybe you remember Shopware 4. That's not Shopware 5, that's Shopware 4 actually, which looks a bit different than today. But it was a huge success, and it was the time when we open sourced Shopware, or shortly before. And these were only the beginnings, and of course, there were mistakes. Some of them. Some things didn't work out the way we expected them to work out. And some of you, or a lot of you, may have made the time with us, you know what I want to say, lived through us, with us through these times. God damn it, okay. But still, here we are. This is the new Shopware 6 administration, and it's such a huge difference, not only in looks, but in tech and in what happened up until now, during basically the last 20 years. And we are still standing strong. We are stronger actually than ever. And this is, in the end, all thanks to you. Because not only do you use the product, but you take part in it. And this is something that we want to even have as a stronger thing in the future. We want even more taking part by you. And now is basically the time, and now is the chance to do this. Let's talk about the future of the community and what happens after SCD 20. We will have new tools. Some of you already may know about the tools that we will be getting in the future, and one of this we already have. Basically, I'm talking about a slide that is barely visible on the screen, and I hope that it's better visible on your screen. In case it's not, it's just two company logos, so I will just continue my talk. Slack and Stack Overflow. Now, Slack is a chat tool, in case you don't know, and Slack is the thing that we will use to replace Gitter, and Gitter formerly replaced IRC. So this is where we are coming from here. And Slack is something that we will use in the future. You can join right now by going to slack.shopware.com. And it's not the best solution that can do everything that we want and that has all the benefits that we need. But right now, it's the best tool for us. So this may change in the future. Nobody knows. But right now, it's the best thing we can do. So join us. If you didn't do this already, because a lot of you may already have joined. We have already 800 people on the channel. And for this event today, for the Shopware Community Day 2020, there is a special channel where you can talk about the event, which is SCD 20. So SCD 20 is the channel, And I obviously I can't read there what you will tell me or want to tell me. So if you have any questions about this talk, about the talk that was previously, or the next talk, this is basically the first block, then head over to scd.shopware.com, just as a footnote. And there you have a question and answer tool. Okay, so how does Stack Overflow is in this picture, and why? Stack Overflow, most of you know Stack Overflow, at least if you're a developer. There is a term that says Stack Overflow-driven development, which is actually a bad thing to do, but I think everyone is guilty of doing Stack Overflow-driven development. At least at some point in his career, in your career, you did do this. Now, Slack is a confined space. Search engines can't look into this, which is a good thing to some extent because the things that you write can't be found by Google. But on the other hand, knowledge gets lost, especially since we have the community version of Slack for the community. And so after 1 month, I guess, if I recall correctly, after 1 month, your messages are gone. So how this will work in the future is, if there is some knowledge that should be preserved, then transfer it to Stack Overflow. Either the guy who asked the question says, hey, this is a great answer, dude. Let's head over to Stack Overflow. I will ask the question there and just post your answer. We both get points and the knowledge is preserved for the future. Or you just flat out go to Stack Overflow, post your question there, and then you go to Slack and say, hey, can somebody answer this question on Stack Overflow? I think it's valuable for the community. This is a little bit of a hassle, but this way we have this direct communication, the chat, the feeling of being together, of being a family of fellow developers and designers and whatever that is working together. And we have, on the other hand, a way to preserve the knowledge in a way that is native to developers, which is a good thing. All right. So this is what will change in terms of tooling. Now we have some changes coming up talking about new faces. We have a push of developers from other systems. I think a lot of you who are watching actually come from other systems. There may be some systems where we get more people from than others, but still, it's a wide variety of people where we get new members from for our community. And what this means is diversity. Diversity is a term that is thrown around a lot these days, but what it means in our terms is different backgrounds, knowledge, people, and we still have to get all those into one community. Now, what does different backgrounds, knowledge, people mean? You have, for example, someone who comes from a Symfony-based shop system and now wants to try Shopware. And this guy will choose Shopware 6. Why? Well, because Shopware 6 is basically Symfony. And he will, or she will, or they will, this is the correct term in English, they will have a huge advantage in knowledge over someone who is programming Shopware 5 for years, but still the Shopware developer who develops with Shopware for several years already knows Shopware in and out and how we think and how we do things. So this is an advantage in knowledge over the person coming over from the Symfony-based shop system. So different knowledge level is not necessarily meaning, or does not necessarily mean a different quality of knowledge, but it's just different levels, so in different perspectives. And if you talk to people on Slack, or if you are answering a question on Stack Overflow, keep this in mind, that someone who asks a question that may appear dumb to you isn't, because that person has a different knowledge level and maybe is smarter than you in a different field that is actually not in the question right now. And people usually ask about things they don't know, so, you know. And different backgrounds means, I had this slide before where I said some are business owners, some are plugin developers, some are theme developers, or whatever. And all these people have different needs, and we have to keep in mind that we have to be inclusive and as inclusive as possible. to make this community work, because of this push from other shop systems, where we are getting a huge amount of new members, that also means that your messages that you send are more likely to just fly by. That's why you should use Stack Overflow for preserving knowledge. And so don't get angry when there are, like, I don't know, 800 people in the Slack and your message is ignored. It's most likely ignored not because nobody likes you, but because the people either don't know the answer, or it's just they are busy with other things, or from their background they are not really understanding what you're doing. So right now, or up until now, with Shopware 5, the community was like a small family where everyone knows each other, and when one member asks something, the other could decipher what he meant. In the future, we will have to be more precise and more open to getting critique or feedback that we did not expect. This is how it will work in the end. Now, join us on slack.shopware.com. If you do not have already a Stack Overflow account, make a Stack Overflow account. When you join slack.shopware.com, make sure you join the channel SCD20 so that you can talk about what you are seeing right now. I would say something like, put a 1 in the chat if you're watching this talk, but I can't see the chat, so it doesn't make a difference. But if you see this talk, put a 1 in there. Anyway, SCD20, just join us.